Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today we are taking a deep dive into something that is honestly a bit wild. We're going on a journey from what looks like a super simple, maybe even kind of silly YouTube trend, all the way down to the cutting-edge AI and biomechanics that are secretly powering the whole thing. We're talking about the stick figure animation empire. You've almost certainly seen these really minimalist videos popping up on your feed lately, right? But what's happening behind the scenes is literally a masterclass in automated storytelling and deep neural networks. Let's unpack exactly how this works.
3 billion. That is a staggering number. And no, that's not the view count for some massive celebrity music video. 3 billion is the total number of views a single channel called Funimoji 2D has managed to rack up using just these simple 2D animations. I mean, they blew up to over 2.5 million subscribers in a shockingly short amount of time. And if we look at this from a pure earnings perspective, at its current scale, a channel like this is pulling in at least $14,000 a month. And honestly, potentially way more than that. We're talking about videos that are routinely hitting 5 or 6 million views a pop. That's not a fluke. That is a highly calculated digital machine.
So you gotta wonder, why on earth are millions of people so utterly captivated by stickmen? Well, it really comes down to this core idea. Stick figure videos don't go viral because they look cool. They go viral because they feel real. You know, in a digital world that's just constantly overflowing with fast-paced, loud, over-edited content, these simple little videos almost act like a calm anchor. The creators are pairing extremely minimalist art with deeply emotional, highly relatable human scripts. They tackle topics like when I stopped apologizing for existing, or where they dive into dealing with overthinking and self-doubt. Because the art is so stripped back, it actually forces you to focus entirely on the message and the emotion.
All right, let's look at the step-by-step playbook on how creators actually animate these without doing any drawing.
It basically breaks down into a 4-step architecture. Step 1 is script and ideation, which is obviously where the core story is born. Step 2 is image generation to create the static scenes. Step 3 is AI animation, where those still images are magically brought to life. And finally, Step 4 is voiceover and editing to layer in that emotional audio. Let's dig into the secrets hiding inside these steps.
Okay, so everything starts with the prompt. But these creators aren't just going to ChatGPT and saying, hey, write me a story. No, they're engineering highly specific psychological prompts. They're telling the AI to focus on internal human struggles, like overthinking or self-doubt. They ask for really conversational, punchy sentences, usually sprinkled with a bit of self-deprecating humor. But the absolute game changer here is generating what they call a character Bible. Before a single image is made, the AI maps out the characters, let's say Mark Carter and his mom, which ensures that when we actually get to the visual stage, the main character looks exactly the same in Scene 1 as he does in Scene 10.
To actually pull this off, they rely on a very specific AI tool stack. For generating images, creators are flocking to platforms like OpenArt or Google Flow. And they really lean on models like Nano Banana 2 or the Pro version, because those are fantastic at producing clean, stylized stick figure art. Then, to get that art moving, they feed the static images into video animation tools. Think OmniFlash, Kling AI Video, or meta-animated drawings, which seamlessly interpret the image and give it fluid motion. Finally, for the voiceover, tools like 11 Labs are huge. Creators actively hunt for specific voices, like one named Chris, that sound a bit tired, reflective, and authentically human, which matches the tone of the script perfectly.
Now here's the real secret as to why creators are jumping on this exact format. Aside from the fact that it's super easy to get into, there is a massive financial incentive. Stick figure animations are basically the holy grail of brand-safe content. There's zero controversy, no unpredictable live-action stuff that could go wrong, and because of that, advertisers absolutely love it. This drives the RPM, the revenue per mil, or how much you make per 1,000 views, through the roof. We're talking about some creators seeing payouts of upwards of $4,000 for a single high-performing video.
So let's shift gears to the biomechanics behind it all, moving from those consumer tools into the deep neural networks.
This brings us to a concept known as 2D AIBM. Sounds super technical, right? It stands for 2D animation using artificial intelligence with biomechanical modeling. And yeah, it is incredibly complex. What's happening is researchers are using deep neural networks to analyze actual human kinematics, forecast how we move, and then apply those biopsychological principles directly onto 2D assets. It's such a crazy contrast when you think about it. The stick figures we watch are as visually minimalist as it gets, but the actual math dictating exactly how their knees bend or their shoulders sway, that is based on cutting-edge human anatomy modeling. When you see this tech functioning, it's like watching a giant puzzle instantly solve itself. The AI basically takes a basic humanoid skeleton to define a virtual root space. It figures out where the hip joint is, projects that down to a floor plane, and calculates the exact coordinates for the upper leg, the lower leg, the foot, the whole shebang. It takes input motion data, extracts all the key features, applies that musculoskeletal model, and runs it right through a neural network. This completely eliminates the nightmare of manual keyframing that animators used to have to suffer through day in and day out.
And if you look at the academic metrics, it proves just how ridiculously powerful this tech has become. We are looking at a 97.4% accuracy rate in movement prediction. Computational efficiency sits at 96.3%, meaning these deep neural networks are crunching these massive biomechanical equations at breakneck speeds. And with a motion control ratio of 95.4% and a pose detection ratio of 94.8%, the AI essentially just looks at an image and instantly knows exactly which pixels are an elbow and which are a knee.
So the big takeaway here is the massive paradigm shift we're witnessing. Think about traditional animation. It was incredibly time-consuming. It required manual keyframing, tweaking every tiny micro-movement frame by frame, or relying on really heavy physics simulations. AI biomechanics totally flips the script. Now it's all about automated human figure detection, segmentation, and real-time pose estimation. The system natively understands what a human body is, and it just does all the heavy lifting for the creator instantly.
To really bring this academic theory full circle into the real world, just look at Meta's animated drawings tool. This was developed by their Fundamental AI Research, or FAIR team. You can literally upload a child's messy doodle on a piece of paper. The AI uses this exact biomechanical research we've been talking about to filter out the shadows, ignore the paper creases, automatically assign joints, elbows, knees, shoulders to the ink lines, and just like that, the doodle is running, jumping, or dancing. It's literally turning raw sketches into structured animated data in seconds.
Which brings us to our final thought for today. We've talked about billions of views, thousands of dollars, and insanely complex neural networks, all dedicated to stick figures. It really makes you step back and wonder, does the future of digital storytelling actually rely on massive budgets and hyper-realistic, complex 3D graphics? Or does it just take a powerful AI, a simple visual canvas, and a deeply relatable human emotion? It's a really fascinating shift in how we tell stories and consume media. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.